What is emotional infidelity? Emotional infidelity, in my opinion, is when a person has feelings for someone else outside of the friendship. Meaning, you are attracted to this person in a way that could lead to more should these feelings grow. But which one is worse? Emotional infidelity or physical infidelity? No matter what, they both suck. When it happens to you, it still hurts. Both feel the same. But if I had to choose, in my opinion, emotional infidelity is worse. You see, when a person physically cheats, emotions don't necessarily have to be there. It really could just be the physical that they're really just after. It's the feeling that they want, but it's not necessarily the emotion that they're looking for and that they want. And some people may agree or disagree, but I believe that you can have intimacy with someone and there are no feelings or no emotions involved. It could just be a one and done type of deal and there's nothing more to it. But when you're emotionally attached to someone, things are completely different. You may begin to do things that's outside of the friendship scope with this person. It could be you talk on the phone all the time. You're constantly now thinking about this person. Maybe when you're speaking to your spouse about this person, you're constantly telling your spouse what they did today or what maybe you guys did today. You're constantly maybe even comparing your spouse to the person. You might even begin to engage in inappropriate messaging with this person. You may even begin to lie to your spouse about when you talk to this person, what you guys are talking about, whatever the case is. Emotional infidelity can also lead to physical infidelity, but I don't think that physical infidelity will always tend to lead to emotional infidelity. I think that constant infidelity maybe might lead to emotional, but I don't think that if physical comes first, emotional is going to automatically come. But usually with emotional infidelity, the physical, it's usually not too far behind. Sometimes in an emotional affair, the person might begin to feel like they know the new person better than they even know their spouse, especially if they have a lot of things in common. Like if you end up having an emotional infidelity with someone that everything is like in common with you guys, you like the same music, you like the same places, like you want to go vacation the same places, you like the same movies, the same TV shows. It's like everything is the same. You're gonna feel some type of an attachment to that person because you're gonna think to yourself, oh my God, this person is just like me. And then you're gonna look at your spouse like, you know nothing about me. Or you might start thinking like, we're not even compatible anymore because we don't like the same things. You were attracted to your spouse because of the differences that you had. You fell in love with your spouse because of the differences that you had. Sometimes it's not always great to be with someone where everything seems like it just lines up, where everything that you like or everything you guys are interested in is the same. It's okay to have friends like that, but me personally, I think that if you're with someone and you guys like, it's just like everything lines up and everything just seems too perfect, you might need to watch yourself because you don't know what that person is hiding. I want to ask you guys a question. Have you ever called someone your work wife or your work husband? I've done this and I didn't realize how damaging that really can be. Yes, even though you spend probably the majority of your day at work, no one should be your wife or your husband except for the person that you said I do to. It's okay to have someone, even if they're of the opposite sex, that you guys get along with at work. It's okay to be close to that person. It's okay to talk to that person about your day, but even be careful about telling that person about any type of things that's going on in your marriage because you don't know that person's intentions. And if you're married and they're single, they may try to move and get in between your marriage. So you have to be careful with what you tell people about your marriage, because you don't know their intentions. You could be thinking that their intentions are good and that they're trying to help you, when reality is they're trying to steer you into sleeping with them, or they're trying to steer you into getting a divorce and leaving your spouse. And also, it's a problem when you begin to tell your work wife or work husband things that you're not even telling your spouse. When you're having more of a marital relationship with the person that you're working with and you're not having that relationship with your spouse, that also causes problems within the marriage. So be careful with letting yourself fall into an emotional infidelity. Especially with us women, we are emotional creatures. So a lot of times if our spouse doesn't listen to us when we speak, or if there's something that our spouse don't do, but we notice that there's someone at work that we're kind of attracted to and that we kind of like, and they start doing those things that we wish our spouse would do, we can easily fall into an emotional infidelity because simply that they're doing stuff that our spouse isn't doing. I know some of you are probably saying, but this person is really just a friend. They're one of my good friends. If I can't talk to them, then who can I talk to? That's fine if they are truly just a friend. But if you begin to develop strong feelings for this person and start doing things that's going to undermine your marriage, that is what you have to look out for. So when there's attraction and when there is secrets being shared, sometimes that can be dangerous to any relationship. And it's usually much easier to find out if your spouse physically cheated than when they emotionally cheat. And some of the signs that your partner could have emotionally cheated on you, emotional infidelity, you could look at someone's text messages. They might not be as sexual, but the conversations could be deeper, and you might even find some things that, again, if you believe your spouse is emotionally cheating, you may not find anything, like I said, sexual, but what you may find is something that, I don't know, they may tell this person that they haven't even told you. So it's secrets like that being shared that you don't know about. Also, like I said, with some of the signs, your spouse could withdraw from you. Your spouse becomes more secretive. Like I said, they always talk about this person. They start comparing you to this person. And you may begin to feel like something isn't right and that something is off. Sometimes if you cannot prove that your partner physically cheated, it may not be a physical thing. It may be an emotional thing. And most of us know when something is going on with our spouse. We can just feel it. We feel like something is off. We feel like something isn't right, but we just cannot seem to put our finger on it. So you need to protect your marriage. And you can try and tell your spouse to give up their friend or give up this person that you don't like. And they may give up that person for a while, but somehow, some way, that person is going to come back into their life, and they're not going to tell you because they know how you feel about that person. That is the last thing that you want in your relationship, is the fact that now your significant other or your spouse is now hiding friends. You have to be open and let your spouse know how you feel about this friendship. Don't tell them to get rid of the friendship, or else that's going to make them not want to get rid of the friendship at all. You want to let them know how you feel. You want to let them know your concerns, but don't come off as controlling. No one wants to be controlled. This is why I always say communication is so important in relationships. And when there's a communication breakdown, usually later the relationship do start to deteriorate, because communication is a foundation along with trust and respect. Communication is right there. It's one of my pillars. So you have to communicate with your spouse about your wants, your needs, and your desires. And sometimes our own lack of confidence will also build something in our heads that really isn't there. So say if your spouse is friends with this really, really attractive female, and you're not that, I don't want to say you're not that attractive, but you're not the way you used to look. Maybe when you guys first got married, you were a lot smaller, you looked a little bit more fit. But now, because you're happy and you're content with your relationship, you put on a few pounds. You're not as confident as you used to be. So sometimes when you see your spouse around this more confident, fit person, the person that we used to be, a lot of times, especially us women, we will sometimes start even putting in our heads that there has to be something going on with our spouse and that person, because that's what we used to look like. So if he flirted with us like that, he's probably flirting with her. Probably not, maybe, but probably not. We don't want to put things also in our heads that's not there unless we have proof. Don't do that to yourself. If there's ever a fear that you think that your spouse is emotionally connected to someone else, you need to get back to the roots of your marriage. It's time for you guys to rekindle your marriage. If you have to sit down with your spouse and ask them, why are you so connected to this person? Like, what is it about them that makes you guys so connected? Sometimes it could be something as small as your spouse just has fun with that person. Maybe they play pranks on people at work. Like maybe they just do stupid stuff, but you know that that's the type of person that your spouse is. Why don't you do that? Why don't you guys play pranks on each other in the house? Why don't you guys go out and be young again? You know, just because you're in your 30s, your 40s, or your 50s does not mean that you can't go out and do the things that you used to when you were way, way younger. Make love in weird places that you never thought. It don't have to be outside. You don't have to do it in the park or anything like that. But if all you do is make love in a bed, make love on the floor for once. Make love on the couch. Make love in the car. Just change it up. Do something different. Send steamy text messages to your spouse. Sometimes when we've been with someone for so long, our conversations turn into bills, kids, something that broke, what appointment we may have. We forget about the intimacy side of our relationship. And one thing that me and my husband do is sometimes I go into girlfriend mode. Girlfriend mode for me is there are things as a girlfriend that I'll do that me as a wife, I won't do. And I know you guys are like, but you're the same person. Well, when I turn into girlfriend mode, I'm not wife. I'm not the same person. So maybe you have to trick yourself into that. Put on a wig that your husband's never seen before, or that your spouse has never seen before, and be a different person, and a different person that might do different things. Keep your relationship spicy. Sometimes if your spouse wants a different woman, give them a different woman. I'm not saying go outside of your marriage and get a different woman. I mean, transform yourself into a different woman. Start being a little bit more open in your relationships. When the doors are closed, it is just you and your partner. So many people are so afraid and they want to be so conservative when it comes to their relationship. I need more light. It's starting to get dark, so I hope you guys can see me. But so many people want to still be so conservative in their relationships. And sometimes you have to just do something different, and you have to do something that you've probably never done before, and try things that you probably never tried before. But if you want to keep your relationship spicy, those are just some things that you can do. There's just a couple of my suggestions. You don't have to do them. If that's not your marriage and that's not your relationship, you do you, and you find ways to make your relationship new and to make your relationship different. That's just one of the things that I do for my marriage. because I'm losing light and I don't have my light set up, I'm going to end the video here. To me, cheating is cheating, no matter if it's emotional infidelity or if it's physical infidelity. When you allow yourself to step outside of your marriage, it is still not being true to your partner. If you like this video, like it. Don't hesitate to hit that subscribe button if you want to see more videos like this about marriage. And remember, love yourself, adore yourself, always be yourself. Thank you, and I hope I get to see you guys in my next video.